Well, hi, everybody. Welcome to the KaiNexus Continuous Improvement Podcast. I'm Mark Graben, and we are joined today by Brandon Turner. He is a solutions engineer at KaiNexus. Brandon, how are you today?
Doing great. Great day and excited to be here.
Well, it would be exciting to hear some of your story. Today is part of our series where we talk to KaiNexus team members about why they joined KaiNexus. So Brandon, what's your story?
So, I come from a family of mathematicians and basically problem solvers. My grandfather was a mathematician. My uncle is an engineer with A&M. So naturally gravitated and have always been kind of a problem solver, being around in that atmosphere with them. So early on in school, always tended to gravitate towards solving problems and always had an interest in technology and how you could leverage technology to solve problems. Went to school initially for a degree in computer science. Was not able to complete it, but entered the workforce and in hospitality management. And then in that role was still able to, and as much as possible, I gravitated towards how technology can solve problems. Make processes better, support people to get the job done more effectively. Did that for a while. After that, was able to transition back into a more technical role and ended up joining a boot camp. Was hired by the boot camp. Worked with them as a project manager for them for a little while, and then from that, I was still kind of looking for roles that more closely aligned with me professionally and what I wanted to do. And I came across KaiNexus, which, my core professional alignment goes around people, process, and technology, people, and problem solving. So that's very similar to what KaiNexus holds as cultural beliefs. So that kind of spoke to me, and here I am, and I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah. It sounds like you have experience as a user of technology when you were in hospitality. How does that perspective help shape what you do in your role here at KaiNexus?
So it really gives you great insight into the opportunities that technology, one, can help and assist with, in addition to you see the possibility, and you can provide insight on how it can take it one step further. So kind of like that frontline user, the person who is doing that day-to-day work is going to be the best person to drive and provide feedback and help iterate on how to make the process better. So being immersed in, back when I first started, we used Hot Schedules, which was a scheduling tool developed to help with labor metrics and scheduling, and they provided a lot of really great tools that iterated over time. They would call us and say, hey, we have we're doing this. How are you using it? And getting constantly asking for feedback, to which we were able to improve and help them. And then they helped us. So.
Mm-hmm. And I know you're still fairly new into the role, but can you describe what a solutions engineer does, what you're doing, and what you hope to be doing in that role?
So as I understand it, and a solutions engineer is a KaiNexus expert. So we strive to be KaiNexperts. Mm-hmm. And what that means is we are subject matter experts with everything that has to do with the technology platform of KaiNexus. So for internal, so anything that anybody needs internally for as far as our company itself, we are resources for that, as well as customer and client facing for instances that we are supporting. We are everything that we can do, and we have as much knowledge as possible about everything that relates to KaiNexus.
And can you describe a little bit, maybe one other question, describe a little bit of the initial onboarding process as you joined KaiNexus? You mentioned some of the core beliefs and core values that KaiNexus has. I'm sure you were exposed to that during the interviewing process, but can you talk about the onboarding? How do you get to know not just the product, but the company, KaiNexus?
So that's great, because that's exactly how the onboarding process is structured, which I really enjoyed. The onboarding process is a project, and in that project, you interact with the technology. Part of the project scope and one of the assignments is interacting with the individuals that are a part of the company. and then you are introduced and you work through the process and the technology that what KaiNexus is. So it encompasses all three of those pillars as you get introduced and as you work and get familiar with the organization, which is, in my opinion, there's not a better way to do it. It's been absolutely, a blast to go through it.
Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. And when you talk about project, I mean, that is getting into some of the functionality of KaiNexus. People
Absolutely,
think of this
yes.
as a continuous improvement platform, whether that means managing employee ideas, small Kaizen improvements, A3s, projects. I mean, I think they still say this in technology, we're eating our own dog food. We're using our own product to help you manage getting on board with the product and the people.
Yeah. Everything is done in the product itself, which, you learn and engage by being in it and doing it and navigating around the platform itself. There's feedback loops where as you complete something, they're asking if there was a piece that could be improved or how did you enjoy that particular experience or what you did. So it's a very well done process in my opinion.
Well, it's great to hear. So we do think of it as a process as we continue to grow and continue to add people like you to the team, Brandon. We don't want it shouldn't be a scramble every time. It can be a process, and then, like you said, hopefully then there are feedback loops and opportunities to improve that process. So I think KaiNexus has a strong interest in practicing what we preach, not just using our own software, but having those continuous improvement cycles built into everything we do.
Absolutely.
Well, Brandon, thank you for sharing a little bit with us today. Our guest here on the podcast, again, has been Brandon Turner, solutions engineer with KaiNexus. So Brandon, thank you. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me.